Welcome back to another episode of Spizz Ringtone. I am Dr. Ryan Betts of Radix Chiropractic, and I'm really excited for today's episode because we are going to be diving into the archives of chiropractic. And back to when chiropractic was founded in 1895, one of the first educational tools that Dr. D.D. Palmer and his son B.J. Palmer utilized to describe chiropractic and to make it as simple to understand as possible was what they referred to as the safety pin cycle. So the safety pin cycle, building off of what we learned upon last episode, is going to further describe the understanding of how your body is organized, how your nervous system controls, coordinates, and operates your physical body, and also how interferences through vertebral subluxation affects this beautiful, perfect design that is within you. So when we're talking about the nerve system, the first thing that I want to get across is this is your body's physical hardwiring for how you eat, how you sleep, how you live life, how you function, how you experience the world around you. It's your nervous system that adapts you, that allows you to properly get the most out of life. But when we're talking about the nerve system, it's actual hardwiring that's inside your body. So it's like a computer program in essence, with your brain being the CPU, the central processing unit, and the nerves being like all the network of wires that are within a computer. That is what your nervous system does for your body. It provides it power. It's the program. So think of your nervous system has a certain program for life and for health in your body, and we're going to go into that more today with the safety pin cycle. So to begin with, let's just go through the different components of a safety pin, and then I'm going to use this whiteboard here to draw a few give some anatomical words and to draw some concepts for you, okay? So first thing is, this top circle here represents your brain. So what I've written up here is that your brain is where 100% life is at for your body. Bottom circle represents your body itself, represents the 70-some trillion cells that make up your body, what I'm going to refer to in this description as your tissue cells. Your body is comprised of trillions and trillions of cells, all packaged together to make up all the individual organs, glands, muscles, bony structure in your body. Let's go over some components of this cycle to understand how it applies to your body and how it applies to what chiropractic can do for you. So when we're talking about a safety pin, the first circle up here represents your brain. And what I'm going to say about the brain is what houses life for our physical body. So 100% life is in the brain. Bottom circle down here represents your physical body, everything that makes up your body. In essence, what I've put on the whiteboard here is the term tissue cells. Our body is comprised of over 70 trillion cells, which make up all the different tissues in our body, whether those tissues are organs, muscles, glands, bones, you name it. Everything that comprises your physical body is made of tissue cells. So this bottom circle represents that. Now here's the thing about a safety pin. A safety pin is strongest when the two sides of it are completely intact. So we're going to go onto the whiteboard and let me describe to you what the two sides represent as it applies to your physical body. So the first side here, if I draw a line from the brain down to the body and put in a few arrows, this is showing that messages from your brain, what we call mental impulses, are exiting the brain, going out to your body via this component of your nervous system. More specifically, these are called efferent nerves. Another way to remember the word efferent represents the word exit. So these are the signals that are exiting the brain, going out to your body, giving your body instruction on what to do. Because again, the brain being the central processing unit, it's what's giving information out, and your body is designed to receive that information. So when the brain through the efferent pathways, sends messages out to the body, to all the different tissue cells. Those tissue cells essentially have a brain of their own. They're going to receive those messages or those mental impulses from the brain. They're going to interpret them, and using a different pathway of nerves, your body is going to send messages back up to the brain to let the brain know how things are going. So, the name of this pathway is your afferent or afferent nerve pathway. Af meaning back to. The afferent nerve sends messages from your body back to the brain for interpretation and processing. So, this is our cycle. Let's use an example to understand how this would apply. So, we live in beautiful Colorado. Many of us enjoy being outside. Many of us have also probably experienced some type of injury or cut while being out in this beautiful state of ours, whether it's hiking a trail, running trails, hiking 14ers, or just taking in that beauty. Let's just say you're hiking along a trail and you're not paying attention to the ground below you and you stub your toe on a rock. The first thing that may happen, the first thing that definitely happens is the tissues in your toe are going to become damaged. They may even be damaged to the point where some bleeding occurs. What then occurs in your body is when that tissue gets damaged, the sensory signals out in your body are going to send a message through the afferent pathway up to your brain, telling your brain, hey, we've got damage down here. We need help. We need healing. We need restoration and repair in the body. So the body sends those signals up. The brain interprets it. And of course, one of the first things the brain interprets is the word ow, or maybe something else comes to mind. But the brain interprets that there's pain down there now. And that pain signal goes to the brain. The brain recognizes it, but the brain also understands that there's damaged, broken tissue in your toe. So the brain is then going to send a signal over the efferent pathway back to the body as a way for the body to begin repairing itself and healing itself. It is through this perfect loop or this perfect cycle and program in your nervous system that this happens very efficiently, very quickly. I mentioned before that the strongest a safety pin is when it is fully closed. That is what we can then apply to our body. Because here's the thing. This is a perfectly designed system, but we unfortunately live in an imperfect world, right? We live in a world full of stress, full of breakdown, full of things that can interfere with this beautiful design that our body has. What do I mean by that? Well, last episode, we introduced the word subluxation, and we talked about a subluxation of the spine being a vertebrae which has lost proper alignment compared to the vertebrae above and below it. And when that vertebrae is subluxated, it compresses the nerve, shuts down the mental impulses going out to the body. So now on our diagram, how this can be represented is when we're subluxated, it would be as if we put some interference points along these pathways. All right? I also mentioned before, too, that when we're subluxated, it doesn't shut off full nerve signals out to the body, but it greatly diminishes the ones that are trying to get out. So what we have here when we have these different roadblocks or these different points of interference that are caused from subluxation, what that's doing, it's not allowing the full messages to be relayed through this brain and body connection. And as a result of that, your body has delays. It has breakdown. It's not going to heal as efficiently as it needs to. It's not going to repair itself. That toe may take a lot longer to be restored back to full function again. And I know that's kind of a silly example to talk about the toe. I mean, we could apply this to any part of our body. We could apply it to our digestive system, our immune system, respiratory, cardiovascular, whatever organ we're talking about. If there is interference along either of these pathways from subluxation, those areas of your body are not going to repair, heal, and restore themselves to the ability they need to. And when I teach people this, I understand that most of us are raised to think that Our body is only unhealthy when we have symptoms. So let's start to break that down a little bit. How do symptoms actually come about from this whole process? I'll be the first to tell you that you can be subluxated in your spine and have no physical symptom or awareness that a subluxation is there. I mentioned before about pediatric chiropractic. It's a huge passion of mine because as a child, my life was completely improved and changed from chiropractic care. I'll go into that more later in a future episode. But here's the thing about this. When we're children, when we're younger, this is when subluxation begins to develop in most of our spines. We don't have back pain, we don't have neck pain, we don't have symptoms from it because what happens is when we have interference, the first thing that begins to actually show up is dysfunction in the body. These are non-symptomatic expressions. So they may be things like your sleep gets altered, your energy gets impacted, you can't focus and concentrate like you know you should be able to. I mean, there's a whole multitude of different dysfunctions. The way I explain them, they're little glitches. They're telling us, hey, my body's just not working as sharply as it should. That's the first sign of subluxation and this nerve interference along the safety pin pathways. The next stage of breakdown is degeneration. This is the part that the tissue cells begin to actually cause wear and tear on the organs and the muscles and the glands and even the bones. Because what happens is if your body is not getting full signals from the brain, your body is producing abnormal cells rather than healthy normal cells. And given enough time, if you continually over the years are spitting out and producing abnormal cells, then those abnormal cells in those different tissues or body part will begin to create illness and breakdown and degeneration of those areas of the body. So that's stage 2. And then the third stage, or the third effect of this pathway being interrupted, is the symptoms themselves. And like I said before, it may take years until your body actually has symptoms. And not that we're basing this on symptoms, but my whole point is that before the symptoms are there, the body's not healthy. So we can't base our whole health simply on how we feel. We need to base our whole health on how our nervous system is functioning and really whether we have subluxation in our spine or not. Okay? Looking at this a little differently using our jumbo safety pin here for a moment, when we're subluxation free and our nerve system is fully connected, that's the safety pin that's fully closed. That's the strongest it can be. But when we're subluxated, it's as if this safety pin has been opened. It's not strong anymore. This is a system, I mean, if I tried hard enough, I could bend it. This is not a strong safety pin. Just like our body, when we're subluxated and we have nerve interference, your nerve system is not as strong as it needs to be, and that opens up the window for breakdown in your body, for degeneration, for dysfunction, and ultimately, down the road, symptoms as well. So when we begin a course of chiropractic care, our focus is not on treating and curing symptoms. That's just treating the effect. Our focus, when you begin chiropractic care with us, is where is the root cause of the breakdown that your body's experiencing. The most logical place to look at is the part of your body that has life, the part of your body that controls the function of all the organs, muscles, and glands. Again, your brain has 100% life in it. If your body's breaking down, that means that life in your brain is not fully getting out to your body as it should in the form of mental impulses, and your body is reaping consequences as a result of that. That's something that I am not okay with. I don't want to see anybody develop degeneration, develop ill health, simply because they're subluxated. Subluxations are correctable. This is the purpose of getting adjusted, is to locate and bring about the correction of subluxation in the spine. But in doing so, you're actually addressing the root cause of breakdown for your body and not merely treating the effects. So, Hopefully you got something out of today's episode. Hopefully the safety pin cycle makes a little bit more sense. You can always go to our website, radixchiro.com. That's radixchiro.com, where I have diagrams and further explanations of the safety pin cycle and of vertebral subluxation. And as always, we will be addressing this and going over these different thought processes and understanding in future episodes. So thank you very much for your time today. God bless. Look forward to seeing you next time.